describe a successful church planner. They did a complete literature review, studies, what the experts are saying, focus groups, roundtable, a whole battery of psychological tests on 50 identified successful church planners from different denominations. There was a whole group of assessment experts that prioritized all the different reoccurring categories, and then 30 in-depth interviews with church planting experts, people who have been around the block quite a few times, asking them to describe what the identified characteristics actually look like in people's lives. Initially, they had over 1,000 questions. They later narrowed those questions that they were asking in this assessment down to the best questions. There are multiple stages of survey testings, which are the questions that worked. Lots of people can develop a survey, but one of the things that they learned along the way was that, for instance, true-false questions were not a good way to measure. A better way to measure is using a scale or a range of answers. And they learned through the process that in their survey testing that they had to be somewhat tricky in how they're asking the questions to not let the Jason Bourne folks just kind of muscle their way through, or John Wayne, depending on your generation there. But there's this kind of American personality or American ideal that's closely associated with what a church planner is supposed to be. And sometimes folks are not self-aware enough to know that they're answering questions to try to get you to think a certain way about them. And so they had to learn to ask questions in a way where they could prod people to be more transparent about who they really were. So after multiple stages of questioning, they developed 22 different scales. So let me just talk for a second about what a scale is, just to give you some background here. A scale is groups of questions that have the same underlying patterns of responses. So you're not just asking one or two questions to try to determine where somebody